We've talked about in the past a little bit the relationship of the rib cage, the scapula or the shoulder blade, and the overall shoulder girdle, specifically in regards to external rotation. So one thing that we want to make sure that our pitchers, especially, and it plays into golf too, especially in the backswing, that we're getting is posterior tilt of the scapula on the rib cage. But to do that and to make that happen, we have to have the rib cage in a good position. So the first thing we're going to demonstrate here from Tyler is what happens when you're in a poor posture, where you're in low back extension and your rib cage flares forward. As you can see, his ribs poking forward right there. What happens in that position is that the shoulders round forward. So if we're in that position, a little exaggerated here, we try to go to external rotation, we can't get to 90 degrees or what we'll call like a neutral position here. We're stuck at like 70 degrees. So we're not even worried about what's actually going on in the actual shoulder capsule there, because everything else around it is kind of jacked up if we're using scientific terms here. So we want to keep the rib cage down in a tucked position. So we say the front ribs back down and in. That usually gets you in a much more stacked position, as you can see here. Then from there, we're going to try to set the shoulder blade back and down a little bit. So we have ribs back and down in the front, shoulder blade back and down in the back, and now we open up a ton more external rotation. So we got probably about 30 degrees there where we didn't do any type of mobilization or any type of stretching into external rotation. It's simply position of the rib cage and the scapula to help the external rotation. So if we look at it from behind, let me swing around here so I can on this side as well. You can see that as he juts forward and rounds, the shoulder blade almost starts to wing off the rib cage, and that's very common in pitchers, especially right-handed pitchers. So again, to fix that, do we need to strengthen low trap, serratus? Yes, absolutely. Probably mid trap as well. But none of that's going to do any good if we don't get that rib cage in a better position. So you see him sets, it already sits better on the rib cage. We get here, there's no way you can even really find the bottom of the scapula now. So that's that posterior tilt we're talking about. We take them back. Now you can see it because of the musculature of the back, and we get some external rotation there that we weren't getting before. So big thing to remember, pitcher, golfer, poor overhead movement, doesn't matter. We need to make sure the rib cage is in a good position, and that'll put the scapula in a better position, and that'll help you get into external rotation easier.